our people.
Your people.
Right? The so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, the people on this side. We got carried away. Hold on, brother. We got carried away captive by the so-called white man, our enemy. Hold on, brother. We got enslaved, right? Give me 28 and 68. Yes, our ancestors, brother.
You can't say that.
I can't say it. That's what the Bible says. Give me 28 and 68.
Deuteronomy 28.
Do you believe in the Bible? Okay, all praise. All praise. Give me 28 and 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
So you familiar with Moses and the
I'm
Israelites,
familiar
right?
with everything.
Now, what is a prophet, brother?
My definition of a prophet, allegedly somebody who kind of like a conduit for God. They like speak for God.
Right, they speak for the Lord, and they basically give you 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 9.
Put this down for me.
Hold on. They foretell things that's going to happen in the future, right? Now, Moses was a prophet of the Lord, right? And Moses foretold the future of the Israelites if they didn't keep the commandments of the Lord. Now bring this out.
1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 9.
Right?
Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God,
If
thus
you wanted
he
to
spake,
ask a question from the Lord, read on.
come and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer.
You see that? So in the ancient world, they were called seers, and now they're called prophets. So when you want to know something of the Lord, if you want to know what the Lord is going to do on the earth, you have to inquire about a prophet. So Moses was a prophet of the Lord. Now give me 28 and 68. So he spoke about, again, future events. Give me 28 and 68.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Right?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now this is a curse that fell upon the Israelites for breaking the commandments of the Lord. He said, if you break my commandments, I'm going to bring you back into Egypt again. Now the Israelites, they were enslaved in Egypt under Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Give me that Exodus chapter 2, verse 23.
Book of Exodus chapter 2, verse 23.
Right?
And it reads, and it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage.
By the what?
By the reason of the bondage.
So brother, what is bondage?
Bondage. Captured, being held back beyond your will.
Exactly, brother. So the Israelites, we sighed by reason of the bondage in Egypt. Because the Egyptians had the Israelites in slavery. We was building up the pyramids and the treasure cities for Pharaoh and the Egyptians.
Believe that?
Yeah, that's the truth. That's in the scriptures. And give me Judah chapter 5, verse 11. Yeah, it's even on the walls of Egypt to show you the Israelites building up the pyramids and the treasure cities, right? Being enslaved by the Egyptians. And bring out Judah chapter 5, verse 11.
Look at Judah chapter 5, verse 11.
Right?
Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them and dwelt subtly with them
Read on.
and brought them low.
And brought them what?
Brought them low
Read on.
with laboring in bricks and made them slaves.
Made them what?
Made them slaves.
Made them slaves. So the point is, the Lord said he will bring us back into Egypt again, which is slavery. Now give me 28 and 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
And really that's going into America, 28 and 68. Because when you look on the back of your dollar bill, what do you see? You see a pyramid, right? Because America is modern day Egypt. Right? The same customs that was upheld in Egypt, America upholds it to this day.
You believe that?
It's the truth, brother. You ever been to DC?
Yeah.
So you familiar with the Washington Monument, right?
Benjamin Banneker built all that. I'm hip, man.
Yeah, well, the point is that Washington Monument is
Black
actually an obelisk.
Real. I'm hip.
It's an obelisk. That's the architecture of Egypt.
Yeah.
So that proves that we in modern day Egypt right now. On a spiritual level.
The Egyptians wasn't for homosexuality and all that shit that America.
Well, brother, you see, brother, you have a misunderstanding of Egypt because the Egyptians actually was homosexuals,
No,
right? But we're not going to debate that, brother. Let's stay on topic. Give me 28 and 68. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. We'll deal with that later. I just want to stay on topic.
So what's your point, though?
I'm about to show you the point. Give me 28 and 68.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Right?
And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Slavery, bondage again. Read on.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With cargo slave ships. And again, that's how our ancestors got to America. Now Salakia, hold on, brother. Can I finish, brother?
That's what the white man.
Brother, can I finish? You're not letting me finish, brother.
Black, no.
Brother.
Because there were black people here way before
Brother,
that.
but you're not letting
And
me
you can't
finish.
show me not
You're
one
not letting me
slave ship
finish.
because you preach.
You're not letting me finish,
That's not
brother.
the truth that you preach.
Can I get Ecclesiastes chapter 5,
It
verse
ain't
1?
true, man. Show me one slave ship.
Well, if you let me finish, I can show you the scriptures.
Nah.
Ecclesiastes 5, 1.
The book of Ecclesiastes.
Can't even tell you how they built the pyramid.
Chapter 5, verse 1.
Right?
And it reads, keep thy foot.
What the Bible say?
Keep thy foot.
Your foot represents your knowledge. The Lord said, keep your knowledge. Read on.
When thou goest to the house of God.
Right now, you're in the house of God, brother. The Lord said, with 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, he's in the midst of it. So right now, you got to hold your peace, brother. Right? I respect you as my brother, but you got to let me finish my point, and then we can deal, thus said the Lord, have discourse of, in God when it comes to this situation, brother.
Yeah, I just disagree.
You got to let me finish my point.
Right.
All right, break it out.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Right?
And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again
Slavery again, read on.
with ships.
With ships. Again, we was brought to America by way of cargo slave ships. Whether you disagree or not, our people were enslaved by the so-called white man. This is why we have the last names of so-called white men. All right, break it out.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Have you ever been back to your homeland? Yeah. So America is your homeland, right? So what about your people? Were they enslaved by the so-called white man? Or are you going to tap? Or you going to tap dance around it and not point the finger at your enemy? What are you going to do, brother? Are you going to acknowledge that your enemy put you in slavery and is killing your people for over 500 years? Or are you going to discredit your enemy and give him a pass? Because that's what it looked like you're doing right now. All right, keep bringing it out.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Again, you've never been back to your homeland. You don't even know what your homeland is. You say your homeland is America, but your people was somewhere else prior to it. Read on.
And there they shall be sold unto your enemies,
The Lord said you were sold to your enemies. Read on.
for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you.
And no man shall redeem you from that captivity. Now this is one curse among 43 others. Another curse is going to your enemy for everything. Where you get that from, brother? That coffee, not chocolate. What store did you get it from?
Brother.
What store did you get it from?
Brother around the corner.
Right, but what store? Does he own the storehouse? Does he pay property tax?
Yeah.
But to who?
Caesar. Give unto Caesar's what Caesar's. That's simple. You know what I'm saying? I got
Exactly.
too much knowledge for
Okay,
this, man.
no, you don't got too much
I
knowledge.
just want to hear what
Hold
you
on,
had to say.
humble down, brother. Humble down, brother.
I done
Give me
heard
28
this a
and
trillion
47.
times, man. You just read Deuteronomy 28, 17
Look at
times.
Give me 47. I
Deuteronomy,
didn't finish my precept. See, brother, you think you know more.
I do.
That's what it is. You don't,
I
brother.
do, bro. I
Give me
read
28 and
this
47.
book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 47.
You got to humble down.
I graduated, man.
All right, give me Sirach chapter 3,
I
verse 18.
graduated from this school of thought already.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I want. Give me Sirach chapter 3,
But I like
verse
the way
18.
y'all ain't preaching
That's-
hate,
that's
though.
what it
That's
is.
cool. You got
What do
a
you
nice-
mean, brother?
You got a nice demeanor.
Yeah, we love our people, but yes, we preach hate to the so-called white man, yes, and the other nations that enslaved our people. Because the Lord said you reap what you sow, according to Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Now give me that, Ecclesiastes.
Sirach, chapter 3, verse 18.
All right, bring it out.
The greater thou art,
Hey, you might think you're a great man. I believe you're a great man, because you're an Israelite man. Read on.
the more humble thyself.
What the Lord say?
The more humble thyself.
So the Lord said the greater you are as a man, the more you have to humble yourself.
I'm not great, man.
You can't profess your knowledge. Oh, I graduated from the school of thought.
That's a
or
fact.
I'm past this.
That's a
Or
fact.
this is low level.
That's a fact. It
Oh,
says
brother.
low level.
But what's your nationality?
I just told you that. Simple, man.
What is
Simple
it?
common knowledge. I'm American, man.
You're American, brother. America was named after Amerigo
My
Vespucci.
mother from Alabama, man.
Give me Psalm chapter 49, verse
You know
11.
where the
real
name
quick.
Alabama come from? That ain't no white man name.
Hey, look, guess what?
know
You
what
called yourself American, and America come from a white man named Amerigo
No, that's not
Vespucci.
true. The word Amir.
Brother, can you look up American?
Amir, man. Amir is the beginning
What
of
does America mean?
Amir means prince.
No. America
What you
means
mean, no?
bitter. America
It's
means
actually
bitter.
an Arabic word, man.
Brother,
Yeah.
all right, bring this up.
And for your point, brother, I know what you're saying, but that's not what America means.
Exactly.
All right, so this is Amerigo Vespucci.
Amerigo Vespucci was an Italian merchant
Was an
explorer
Italian merchant and explorer. Read on.
and navigator from the Republic of Florence, from whose name the term America is derived.
Brother, we reading you the source. All right, give me
Say that
Psalm
that's
49:11.
That means the Arabic discovered America, and he named it after himself. That don't make any sense.
Right. Give me Psalm 49:11.
No, it's don't run deep
Hey,
enough
brother,
yet,
the greater
man.
thou art, the more humble thyself. That's all we're gonna keep saying to you.
Bro, I'm not
Psalm
great.
49:11.
I'm not great, man.
Book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
So this is the thought pattern of the so-called white man. Because he will tell you that he discovered America, which is a lie. Christopher Columbus never discovered America. You already had the Native American tribes in the Northern Kingdom already inhabiting this land. When you read 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. All right, now bring this out.
And their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names.
So whatever landmass the so-called white man goes to and conquers, he calls it after his own name. So when America was conquered, right, by the English, right, Christopher Columbus, when he conquered this land, he called it after his own name.
So what was the name of it prior to that?
Hold on. We can get it out the precept. 2nd Esdras 13.
Say, Texasaurus.
No, 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40.
Right?
And it reads, I'll jump down to the point.
Bring it up, man.
2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 50.
It's like 30. 2nd Esdras 13, 30.
Oh, it's like 40.
Oh, yeah. It's like 38.
I just think y'all get a white man too much credit to think he can actually bring a whole nationality of people over there.
You're not giving a white man credit. The Lord set that up
That ain't true.
because we broke his commandments. Hey, brother, if you don't repent, you're going to be destroyed by the Lord, brother.
The 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 45.
Right?
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half, in the same region is called Arzarat.
It's called what?
Arzarat.
It's called Arsarit, right? So the land of America was formerly known as the land of Arsarit, where never mankind dwelt.
Right.
Right? Because you had the northern tribes that pretty much migrated over here, right? Fleeing Assyrian captivity in 722 BC. Okay, read on.
2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 45.
See, that brother was prideful, man.
Yeah, he was.
That's why the Lord said pride is the beginning of sin. And he that hath it shall pour out abomination. So you got all these different doctrines out here to confuse the Israelite man to think, oh, we was already over here. The slave ships never happened. And if you can't bear witness with Deuteronomy 28 and 68, you have no foundation. And that's what the so-called white man wants to destroy. He wants to destroy your basic foundation. He wants to pollute that milk, man.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to pollute your mother's breast milk, right? If you have ears to hear. Bring it out.
Oh, brother.
Hey, brother, you an Israelite. Check this out. All praises to the Most High. Right? So the point is, brother, we out here to wake you up and teach you the knowledge of the Lord. Right? Give me Sirach chapter 15, verse 3. Right? Because most of our people are lost. That's why the Lord said he sent unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? Because if you know anything about a sheep, it needs a shepherd or it's going to be led astray. Right? So our people, we don't have a shepherd right now, so we led astray and we in these different doctrines and philosophies. We killing each other in the ghettos, selling crack to one another, right? And doing all manner of abominable things because we have no leadership. But the Lord is telling us that we have to come back to the foundation of the scriptures and eat of the living bread and the living waters. Now give me Sirach chapter 15, verse 3.
Book of Sirach,
Eat of the bread and drink of the living waters. Bring it out.
chapter 15, verse 3.
Right?
With the bread of understanding.
With the what?
With the bread of understanding.
So, brother, you got to eat of the bread of understanding. Understanding who you are. Understanding that you're an Israelite. Understanding that you have to keep the commandments. Understanding that we living in the last days. Read on.
Shall she feed him and give him the water of wisdom to drink.
The what?
To drink.
You got to get the water of wisdom, brother. Now give me Psalms chapter 119, verse 9.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 9.
Right, so bread represents understanding and the water represents the wisdom and the knowledge of the scriptures. Right, so you have to drink of the living waters. All right, bring this out.
Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
So, brother, how do you cleanse your way? That's the question. How do you cleanse, or how do we as a people cleanse our communities, cleanse our ways, right? And cleanse us from these curses that we're going through? How do we cleanse our way, brother? By doing what? Keep reading.
By taking heed thereto, according to thy word.
By taking heed to the word of the Lord. This is how we cleanse our ways. So we have to take heed to the word. Now give me Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26. Now the word tells us that we the Israelites. The word tells us, or the word rather tells us that we have to keep the commandments. Hey, the word tells us who your enemies are. Now who do you think your enemy is in 2022? Is your enemy your own brother? A brother that looks like you? That come from the same conditions as you? Or is your enemy that outside influence that put the guns in your community, that put the crack in your community, right? That put the prostitution in your community? That's who your enemy is. And who did that? The so-called white man, right? Because he the one that enslaved us from the west coast of Africa and brought us here to work and to build up his glorious kingdom. Right? Who built the White House? The so-called black man. Who built the monument? So-called black man. Who built these different railroads throughout America? So-called black man. During the Jim Crow era. Right? So the point is, the white man, he's your enemy. And you have to realize that and know that in these last days. To understand where you come from. To understand who you are. To understand what the Lord requires of you. Now bring this out.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26.
Right?
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
By the what?
By the word.
By the word. Right? So the word is what? Give me 28 and 68.
We have Robert Oliver Crummer. I'm gonna start reading. Yeah, I'm gonna read.
Give me 28 and 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28,
Right there.
verse 68.
Check this out, brother.
And it reads,